When it came to the highly anticipated fake news awards, CNN didn't take home first place, which was a surprise for those of us taking odds for the office pool. Not that this writer would do such a thing, cough cough. That honor went to Paul Krugman, which I thought was a bit of an upset. After all, the New York Times economist is simply wrong, all of the time, not necessarily mendacious. However, for those of you pulling for a CNN win, you could at least take solace in the fact that CNN filled out 4 slots in the top 11, more than any other source. Nevertheless, the network is positioning itself for the 2019 edition of the awards early, and they've decided the way to go about that is to go meta, fake news about fake news. Very Inception. In this case, the fake news in question involved President Trump's appearance at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. CNN took an excerpt from the president's Q&A and labeled a crowd booze as Trump calls media fake in Davos. The problem was that a look at the clip seemed to support the idea that the crowd was oohing at a certain part of the president's remarks, and YouTube users seemed to think so too. I've always seemed to get, for whatever reason, a disproportionate amount of press or media, the president said during the clip in question. Hey guys. The rumors were true. Ronda Rousey is now officially a WWE superstar. The former Olympic bronze medalist and first ever UFC women's bantamweight champion made a last gasp appearance at the WWE's Royal Rumble pay-per-view event in Philadelphia on Sunday night. And while she didn't utter a word or take part in a match, she made a big enough statement, standing in front of the 2 WWE Women's Champions, Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, as well as the Royal Rumble winner Asuka, and pointing to the WrestleMania sign. A lifelong pro wrestling fan, Rousey was linked with a switch to the WWE from the moment she left the octagon following her TKO loss to Amanda Nunes at UFC 207 in December 2016. Her Rowdy nickname was a tribute to WWE legend Rowdy Roddy Piper, who gave her his permission to use his nickname during her MMA career. And that relationship with Piper, who sadly died in 2015, was evident at the Royal Rumble, as Rousey walked into the arena wearing his old leather jacket, given to her as a gift by Piper's family. Rousey never officially announced her retirement from the UFC, but it was generally accepted that her loss to Nunes would be her last. Now she's back as a WWE superstar. And, just as they were every time she stepped into the octagon, the world will be watching. Please subscribe this channel for upcoming updates. Wannabe comedian and former Secretary of State John Kerry recently attempted to fat shame President Donald Trump. Now, the only thing people are laughing at is the response Kerry got as he was roasted with a brutal dose of reality. After a disappointing 4 years as head of the State Department, Democrat John Kerry is spending his time poking fun at better men. He recently spoke at the Alfalfa Club dinner in Washington, D.C., where his fat joke about the president didn't earn him the response he was hoping for when it hit social media. According to Breitbart, Kerry attended the 105-year-old black tie banquet on Saturday, January 27, 2018, where the club's 200 members made up of influential politicians and business executives gathered to drink, listen to live music and try to tell jokes. When it was Kerry's turn to stand up and impress everyone, he made a fat joke about President Trump and sat down. I'm not trying to make Kerry look stupid because he's a 74-year-old liberal who never got over a failed presidential run in 2004. He's doing a great job of that by himself. I'm just pointing out that taking a cheap shot at our president, in a room full of Trump-hating political elites, doesn't make you as brave or witty as Kerry might assume. In his senile rant, Kerry made a joke referencing the results of Trump's most recent physical examination and equating it to the birther movement, where Americans had legitimate disputes over Barack Obama's alleged foreign birth. Despite the pressure he's under, the White House physician says President Trump is in great shape. A trimmed 239 pounds. Personally, I just won't believe him until he produces his long-form girth certificate, Kerry said. Now, to a room full of drunk asshats who despise Trump, that might be hilarious, but once Kerry's fat joke hit social media, it was time for him to get a dose of brutal reality.